Hello friends, we are preparing a festive table with several dishes today. I also recommend checking out my playlist with New Year's and festive recipes. The link will be in the description and in the hints. To start, I defrosted the puffies dough. And now, just like that, without rolling it out, I put it on a baking sheet and bake it at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes until fully cooked. Let's make the cream. For this, in a blender cup, I fold in eggs, cottage cheese, and pour in cream. It's better to take low-fat cream, 10%. Now we combine everything well. You should get such a mass. The cream is not too thick and not too liquid. It beautifully soaks the cakes, and at the same time, the cake will hold its shape. Grate the cucumber on a grater. I grate on a large one. Of course you can cut it, but grated is the most convenient to cut and eat. And Corsi got baked and cooled down. We'll leave a little for sprinkling the cake itself. And I divide 2 crusts into 2 parts. That's how we divide it neatly with our hands. As a result, we got 4 crusts. Let's assemble our cake. We apply cream to the crust, distribute it. By the way, you can put avocado in the cream instead of cottage cheese, but it should be ripe. Then the cucumber, grated on a grater. Now onion greens, then tuna and my own juice. We try to remove the excess liquid from the cucumber and tuna so that all this does not spread later in the cake. Now again the crust, and we repeat this twice and finish with the 4th crust. We smear the leftovers of the cream and sprinkle with crumbs from the crusts. I advise to let such a cake stand in the refrigerator for at least a night. You need to wrap it in food film in advance so it doesn't get stale. Today I decorated the cake with stripes of green onions and radish. You can replace the radish with tomatoes or Bulgarian pepper. You can put olives. Let's take a look at the cut. Well, look, it turned out very beautiful, tasty and satisfying. These are meat candies. Mix the minced meat with cheese, greens, salt and pepper. I bought ready-made dough for dumplings at the store, but you can make it yourself. I put the minced meat in the middle of the dough and wrap it from 2 sides, like a candy. We heat up the oil for frying and brown the dumplings until they are golden. Once they're ready, sprinkle with herbs. It turned out very tasty. You can serve it with any sweet and sour sauce. Next, we'll make a snack with potatoes and herring. I like this snack the most, probably more than anything else. Delicious, simple and inexpensive. I washed the potatoes and cut them not very thinly into circles. Now I'm drizzling the potatoes with oil. I have olive, sprinkling with spices and salt. I spread it on a baking sheet and send it to the oven at 200 degrees for 20 minutes. I grate the beetroot on a grater and mix it with herring. I cut it finely enough. I add grated egg, green onion, mayonnaise. You can also add a clove of garlic. I mix everything well. I lay out the potatoes on a dish, and on top I put a spoonful of salad, herring and pickles. You can also garnish with greens or onions. A very tasty and satisfying snack is ready. Bruschetta with prosciutto. I cut the bread into triangles and toasted it for 3 minutes in the oven. Now I spread mayonnaise and mustard on the bread. Better not grainy, but regular. I skewer half a cherry, arugula, bacon and toast on a skewer. The bruschettas are ready. I sliced the cucumber very thinly. With the help of a vegetable peeler, I got such even thin strips. I will use it as a mold. A cake mold. I covered it with cling film. Now I'm laying out the cucumber all over the mold. The cucumber slices need to cover the entire mold.
Let's make the sauce. Ukrope cut finely.
Adding cottage cheese. Mixing with dill and adding sour cream. I have 15% mixing well. Salt and pepper to taste. For convenience, I'll transfer the sauce into a bag. You can simply replace the sauce with sour cream or mayonnaise. I'm sending boiled grated eggs to the bottom of the mold. I grated them on the finest grater. I add the sauce and spread it out. The next layer I lay out is the sliced green onion. You can replace it with chives, but I recommend lightly frying it in chicken fat beforehand. The next layer is carrot, grated on a grater. I add it and spread the sauce. Next, canned cucumber. The next layer is some grated potato. Next, canned fish. I have tuna. I mashed it well with a fork, so there are no large pieces in the salad. Next, the remaining sauce and the remaining part of the potato. I'll immediately cut off the extra cucumber ends, cover with food wrap, and put in the fridge for 4 hours. Before serving, I remove the food wrap, carefully flip it onto a plate, remove the mold, the wrap. A beautiful, bright and very tasty salad is ready. First, let's prepare the cheese. I have adige cheese. You can take halloumi. I cut it into strips, lay it on a heated pan without oil, and fry it until it has a golden appetizing crust. I lay out the salad on a plate. You can take a mix of salads. I add fresh spinach. I cut a fairly large egg. I cut cherry tomatoes in half and spread them on a plate. I cut the Bulgarian sweet pepper into strips. Now I'm slicing the orange into wedges, trying not to capture the white part, only taking the soft part. I'm laying out the baked cheese, tuna. I have it in oil. You can take it in its own juice. I'm drizzled with vegetable oil. The perch, salt and salad are ready. Caesar salad. I marinated the chicken in soy sauce and garlic in advance. I decided to bake the chicken. It can be roasted for 25 minutes at 192 degrees. The main thing is not to dry it out. I cooked it on grill mode to form a tasty crust. To prevent the avocado from darkening, I mixed it with lemon juice. Now, on the salad leaves, I lay out in long strips in turn. First the chicken, then the sliced tomatoes, cucumbers, eggs, avocado. We drizzle everything with oil, sprinkle with salt and pepper. The salad is ready. You can also add fried bacon to the salad, grate parmesan or add croutons. For garnish, I decided to roast Brussels sprouts with bacon. I halved the cabbage and boiled it in salted water until done. I cut the bacon, distribute it over the cabbage, sprinkle with salt, add melted butter, and put it in the oven under the grill for 15 minutes. Both the bacon and the Brussels sprouts should be well browned. I have a piece like this. Look for one without fat for easier slicing. Now we will peel it well. The thinner you cut and peel, the more layers will be in the roll and the juicier it will turn out. Spread the cottage cheese. You can replace it with mayonnaise or sour cream. Next, the spices. I have special ones for pork. We distribute the previously soaked blackcurrant from a flask. I lay out the prunes closer to the edge that I will roll up first, and the edge that will be last. I do not fill it to the end. You can add walnuts and it's very tasty. Now we roll it up, and with the help of a rolling pin we form a denser roll. On top, I distribute the bacon in a pattern and tie the roll to keep its shape. I didn't have any cooking twine, and I couldn't find it in the nearest store either, so I cut a baking bag into strips and tied it with them. It holds well. I liked it. It performs the same functions as the culinary one. And thread it onto a spread-out skewer. With vegetable oil, I lay out the roll and fry it nicely until it's golden brown from all sides. Now I apply the roll on parchment, roll it up, and fold our roll into shape. Put it in the oven for 40 minutes to 1 hour. Everything depends on the size of the roll. We reach, release from the parchment, and tie. I will serve it in a straight form. I'm sure that in such a beautiful form, if you serve this roll on the table, it will definitely not go unnoticed. For garnish, I decided to bake Brussels sprouts with bacon. I halved the cabbage and boiled it in salted water until it was ready. I cut the bacon, distribute it over the cabbage, season with salt, pepper, add melted butter, and put it in the oven under the grill for 15 minutes. And such an unbelievably tasty carrot cake! We whisk the eggs with sugar until fluffy. We add odorless vegetable oil and mix. We add grated carrot and mix as well. We combine the flour with spices, which are cinnamon, cardamom and ginger, and nutmeg. We combine everything with a whisk. We add nuts to the egg-carrot mixture as desired. I have walnuts, but any can be used. Then add the flour and mix well. You can bake the cake in a round mold, like a classic cake, but I will do it on a standard baking sheet. I distribute the dough and send it to the oven, preheated to 180 degrees for 20-25 minutes. I let the sponge cake cool, cut off the edges, and divide it into 3 parts. We prepare the cream, butter at room temperature. I whip it for a couple of minutes. Now I add powdered sugar and cottage cheese. I combine them and the cream is ready. Assembling the cake. I spread cream on the crust, then add caramel. You can also find a video on how to prepare it in the description, but of course it's optional. On top of the crust, cream, caramel, and another crust. I am coating the edges and top of the cake with the remaining cream. I crumble the cake trimmings in a blender into crumbs and sprinkle them on the sides and top of the cake. All that's left is to decorate. We do this as desired. I have a tangerine, rosemary, dried apple, and soft rice and round candies. Such a remarkable cake turned out. It's soft, tender, and very aromatic.